Let's cook a whole bunch of low carb huli chicken. First things first, we're gonna need 10 pounds of chicken thighs. I got these at Aldi. They were $2.99 a pound. Get this all broken up. Fresh ground pepper. This is all the different kinds of peppercorns all rolled in. Just the way we want. Chicken thighs not only are a little bit tastier because there is a little bit more fat and dark meat, but they take a little bit longer to break down. Gas on, don't forget. And then don't forget to turn it off when you're done. If you're wondering why I didn't flip them over and season them on the other side, well, guess what? I'm going to do that on the grill. Genius. Saves time that way. David, why aren't you putting any seasoning on the chicken? What is your problem? Well, all is in the sauces. So this chicken is cooked to basic, perfect chicken thigh that can be used as a palette for whatever your heart desires. For now, all we have to worry about, though, is getting it cooked up, because it's going to take a while to get all those connective tissues broken down just the way we want. Gas on, don't forget. And then don't forget to turn it off when you're done. After getting medieval on it, we have fully lit, and we are ready to start the cooking and heating process. For chicken thighs, we definitely want to cook them until they start to come apart, and it's usually around 210 degrees internal. So we're going to slowly cook these chicken thighs. Is it going to fit? I don't know, that's what she said. Thankfully, I was able to get 100% of that meaty goodness in there. Now we're just going to get this back up to 10. Right, now we're going to cook at 275 for 45 minutes to an hour. That's smelling good. All right, let's get that closed back up as quickly as possible and cook the remaining 20 minutes. And then we're going to take it off and bathe it in sweet, delicious sauces. 1/2 teaspoon regular salt and 1 tablespoon of ginger. And then I'm just going to put some fresh cut pepper in there. All right, and now for the huli chicken liquid ingredients. First, we have 1/2 cup of soy sauce and 1/2 cup of beef broth. Because I'm a little low on soy sauce, but the flavors should balance out exactly. Then we're going to add the ketchup and the Splenda brown sugar, which is a favorite of mine, replacement, and get the dry ingredients in there. Right, now we're going to whisk in the dry ingredients. And here is our fancy huli sauce. Moving on to the next sauce. All right, bourbon chicken. 3/4 cup brown sugar, stevia. Dry ingredients start out with salt, and then we're gonna add garlic powder, and then ginger, a dash of cayenne pepper, and now let's do our liquid ingredient, the soy sauce, and then 1/2 cup of beef broth. Of course, the sauce calls for 2 shots of bourbon, so I'm using Jack Daniels because it's a classic flavor. Let's get this goodness all whisked up, and that chicken should be just about ready for its saucy home. Let's get that wrapped in foil and get that back on the grill so it can caramelize up. All right, so we've got our huli and our bourbon, and we're gonna get that going under here at about 275 for another 45 minutes and let that all caramelize. Now we've got our green onions and our broccoli for our bourbon chicken and huli chicken. I'm also going to add sesame seeds for a little crunch. Spreading it out on a pan is very helpful for cooling it down. This helps with lots of things, from eliminating moisture in freezing to reducing the likelihood of foodborne illnesses. Because if it takes 5 hours to cool down your meal prep in the center of that food could be growing botulism, and that's a time bomb that is deadly. All right, let's get these off the grill. Huli and bourbon chicken. I'm going to cut it up, kind of mash it up, and now do the same for the huli chicken. Focus on separating at the joints. It's so tender that it just falls apart. All right, now that you've got all of your chicken broken up, and all of your sauces are just soaked up all of that chicken now, go ahead and start building our bowls. All right, let's start with the rice. Now we're gonna load up the broccoli. Let's get the chicken on there. I used to get Tempo meals and pay $90 a week for them. Let's take our huli bowls. Let's finish it off with all these green onions. Sesame seeds. We've got $30 in chicken. We've got $10 in dry and wet sauce ingredients and seasonings. And we have $10 in vegetables and carbs. So we've got 40 servings plus one really good meal for me. If we just count the meal as a free chef's meal, we've got 40 servings at $1.25 per serving. Now, a Tempo meal is about 2 of these servings. That takes the total comparison cost to $2.50. A Tempo meal cost me between $13 and $16. The savings is astronomical. Let's go ahead and get all of this in the freezer. We have to pre-freeze them beforehand so that the sauces don't suck out in the vacuum sealer. Delicious. These vacuum seal bags add 25 cents to our $2.50 per serving against a Tempo meal. So this accounts for the packaging. Obviously, it takes time to cook all this and to vacuum seal it all up. So we had 25 cents per meal, taking us to $2.75. Let's include our labor. Let's take twice the minimum wage of the state of Missouri, which is $15, so $30. It took me 4 hours to do this, just for pure cost analysis. So that adds $3 per meal to the whole equation. We're at $5.75 per meal. 3 meals to eat now. So here's our 40 servings, ready for the freezer. But all of this was $60 and 4 hours of my time. That includes cleanup, prep, everything, barbecuing. It's the same size as this meal. Stay tuned for our next adventure. Will it be Angus top sirloin, or will it be these 2 4-ounce pork loins? Top sirloin or pork loin?